Yep. Yep. The sun's in my eyes, so yes, I have to have this. I have to have this. North Kakalaki sun is no joke. I know people don't say North Kakalaki. I know they don't say North Kakalaki. What is good? What is good? What is good? Soundboard Sundays, episode 35. Episode 35. Dami, what's good? What's good, Dami? I ain't seen you in a minute. You got my boy Oye coming on, talking about digital assets. Starting at 3 o'clock. What time is it right now? Oh, 3 o'clock. We got to get going. Oye and Max Mupesse. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? We got to get going. We got to hit this hard and get going. Talking about digital assets today. Do you have your digital asset game popping? Oh, yeah, we're going to get you in there. Max, where you at? Let's send you a request. There we go. All right. Got the guys in there. And your request to go. Okay. What's going on with IG?
Yes, sir.
All right. Oh, yeah, I just sent you a request. Come on up in. St. Clair's Hair. How you doing? How are you doing? This is Soundboard Sundays, guys. Episode 35. Our goal, my co-host Max Mupesse, and my guy Teez. What's going down, Teez?
What up, yo? What up? How you guys doing?
All right. We're doing well. We're doing well. Listen, guys, this is Soundboard Sundays, live, episode 35. Myself and my co-host Max Mupesse come together to bring emerging music producers and singer-songwriters to the same table, to the same page, and give you guys the game that you need to build a strong, solid foundation to make it as music professionals, professional musicians, all right, in this music business. So today, we got our guy, Oye Teez. So, Soundboard Sundays, ladies and gentlemen, is always sponsored by two things. One, it is I'm a Music Producer, Audio Affirmations Book and System. It is an audio affirmations book that I put together directly for music producers so that we can help you master your mind so that you can master the music, do what you do best. Max?
Yes, sir.
Who are we sponsored by, bro?
Yes, we're sponsored by my ebook called How to Attract Gigs as an Emerging Artist, a guide to position yourself in a new digital entertainment economy. And that ebook is important for you as an emerging musician, rather. I hope you guys hear me.
You got kind of spicy for 1 second.
Okay, so for emerging musicians, if you want to learn how to attract gigs, if you want to learn how to position yourself correctly in front of the right audience, or you want to get that book only at $49.95. Once you get the book, today's the last day where you get the 15-minute consultation once you get the book. So go ahead and just click the link in my bio, and I'll be here to help you.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, guys. So you all know what it is, and if you don't know what it is, me and Max, we usually will go over book bars, and what those are is, again, we believe that leaders are readers, so you are constantly investing in yourself, constantly working on your personal growth, personal development, and constantly learning. Like, we are learners for life, and so my book bar is going to be from our book that we're reading for in the morning meetup, which is We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rogers. And so the book bar, my book bar essentially is kind of a sum up, right? And it's talking about $1 million value, actually understanding your $1 million value, because moving forward, moving up in whatever it is that you're doing, you have to have that mindset that you are a millionaire before you start practicing whatever it is that you're trying to practice, right? So the book bar is a sum up from page 135, and it's understand your zone of incompetence, your zone of competence, your zone of excellence, and your zone of genius. And she gets this from these are the 4 zones from this book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, right? And essentially what it is like knowing where you're good, knowing where you actually suck at something, and saying, I'm not going to like spend my time doing what I actually suck at. I'm going to actually find out who to do that, because you're wasting up special time and value, right? That's your zone of incompetence. Your zone of competence essentially is, work that you can do, but anybody else can do it, right? And so she gives an example of like being a cashier. Anybody can do that work because, you're competent of it, and it's not really stretching you or doing too much. Once you get it down, you get it down. She says your zone of excellence is the real part where it's really difficult, because the zone of excellence is something that you have been trained in, right? You spend a lot of time, a lot of energy, and you've been trained in it. And she uses the example of like being a doctor, but it's not really like something's whispering to you to be something else, right? Some of our brothers and sisters, y'all are on your jobs and things like that, but something is whispering to you to get deeper into your music production, to get deeper into yourself as a recording artist, right? But you're like, well, I spent all this money, in time, and I got a degree in this, so I guess I got to do it. That's your zone of excellence. Now, the zone of genius is the thing that comes naturally to you, and that's where we need to focus our attention on being. And that's just a little quick sum up of it, but that's my book bar. Amazing.
Yes, sir.
That's what you got.
My book bar. Yeah, so my book bar, I'm glad, first and foremost, I'm glad, I'm happy. I'm very happy and glad I finished this book. Never Split the Difference. I was late, I fell behind. And man, once I finished that book, I told myself, anybody can do anything. You just got to put your mind into it. And I'm at the part, the book bar is at the appendix. At the end of the book, for those of you not knowing, the book is called Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. And he says, I think you talked about that book bar too, but I'm going to talk about it too. When the pressure is on, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall to your highest level of preparation. So you always want to be prepared for whatever happens. That's why there's a saying that says, what was the saying again? You never want to, basically, you should always be prepared for whatsoever. You know what I mean? And if you tell yourself you're prepared before even thinking that you're not prepared, then you will move even more. You will move even smoothly, because you have this notion of, okay, I know I can handle pressure. I know I can handle whatever could be thrown at me, and you'll rise to the occasion.
Yeah,
you'll do better than rise to the occasion, rather.
Right. Most people don't rise to the occasion; they fall to the level of preparation. That is 100%. That's 100%. So yes. What time? Okay, what time we got? I got a question for you, Teez, because do you have a book bar? I just thought about that. Do you have something that, man, that's really hit you, bro? Because listen, so guys, you guys don't know, this is our buddy and amazing, brilliant gentleman in the digital workspace, and we met all on the morning meetup. We're all a part of the morning meetup. So if you guys do not know what that is, holler at one of us and get that affiliate link so you guys can be in the building, in the room, building connection and building network like how we're building right here. But this brother is amazing. He has a catchphrase that he talks about all the time. He builds high performance websites for high performance businesses. Oh yeah, did I get that right?
You did. You got it 100%.
100%, bro. 100%. Like that's so important. I love when you talk about that every day, because it just goes off and it's ingrained into our memories about that. But so I don't want to say too much. I want you to introduce yourself, really quickly, and we want to just get some of these questions answered and just go hard at it. All right. So let us know about yourself.
Appreciate it. If I was going to start off with the book bar, I'm trying to think, and it would be from Rachel Rogers, even though obviously we've read both books. I think, what do I like from Rachel that I could think of just off the top of my head? I think it was one of them when she was talking about mindset. And when she was talking about becoming a millionaire, that you need to kind of feel it before you become it, because that way you're teaching your mindset to get into that frame so that when you are in there, it already feels like you're there. You already know what you're doing. So it's kind of like getting the experience first, believing yourself to get that experience first, and then that will shift your mindset towards that direction and try to get it. So if you want to become a millionaire, start doing things that millionaires do. It's kind of like what Myron says, be, do, have. You want to be the person that does the thing that has the result. So start being like a person who's a millionaire. You start doing the stuff that they do because you studied them. Then you start having that result of becoming a millionaire. So that's, I think that would be my bar from, I can't remember what chapter it was, but it was a couple of chapters ago. So yeah, that'll be my bar.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Richard Rogers.
Those go both, that one, your book bar and the negotiation just goes hand in hand. Like, you don't rise to the occasion, you're going to fall to the level of preparation. So you need to be prepared to be that millionaire in the beginning. All right, bro.
100.
Yeah, let's hear about you. Yeah.
So for everyone who's listening, my name is Oye. I am the CEO of COBS Group Media based in Manchester. We are a web design and digital marketing agency. And what Matty was saying is we make high-performance websites for high-performance businesses. We also create high-performance lead generation campaigns and high-performance funnels for high-performance businesses. So we're the full 360 of anyone who wants to come online, create a digital asset with the business, and attract customers to it. So that's me.
Right on. How long have you been in the creating the website space and stuff like that? Give us because we know you're Nigerian, bro. And we know the Nigerians be working hard as a mug, man, be getting it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, go ahead.
We all working hard. So I would say I got into the web world in 2000, like officially 2011-ish.
Right.
But I've been doing stuff online since 2003. So I started off with eBay, and I was doing dropship with eBay. And the thing with eBay is the more money you make, the more you pay fees, which is okay if you're making paper. But at the same time, you're like, how can I reduce the amount of fees I have to pay these guys? So then I decided, let me see if I can create my own site to put stuff on for people to buy that way. So I started doing that. But you soon quickly realize that just because you create something doesn't mean people are going to come to it. So I then had to learn how to attract traffic and SEO and all that sort of stuff to the site. So those were skills I kind of built up from 2003 to 2007-ish. And then and then the recession hit. And basically I graduated because I was supposed to be a lawyer. Right. So did law school, did everything, studied law uni, you know how it is in an African household, lawyer, doctor, engineer. Those are the general ones they expect you to be. So so mine was to be a lawyer, but recession hit, there were no law jobs. All the firms are either getting merged or taken over. So I said, you know what, these skills I built in the past, let me see if I could create a business out of it. And that was basically how it was. And here I am today.
I love that. So that's the area of genius, maybe, you know, that we were just talking about from the Rachel Rogers book. I mean, because the area of, I guess, excellence would have been trying to continue in that lawyer pathway, but it's doing something different, you know, and you were able to pivot, you know, and say, yo, I've actually built these skills. I love doing it. That's amazing. Max.
Yeah, man.
Hit Oye with some questions, bro.
Yes.
Hit me with the questions. Shout out to everyone jumping in. Hit me with some questions. Let's go.
And I love this connection because it's completely international. You got the States, you got Canada, and you got the UK. So it's like, and shout outs to the internet because we're getting this connection on point. And my question would be, when you decided to pivot, what were some of the mistakes you made that not only helped you become better once you officially started your business, but helped you with your coaching?
Okay. As in my personal coaching, developing myself?
Exactly.
So one of the mistakes I made, and I would say this to anyone who wants to go into any sort of thing, whether it's business or even becoming working in a job is get someone who's already done it before you so you can copy what they've done. So get a coach, because that will condense your learning curve from decades into days or months. You know, the ability to have someone who's done it, but you always got to vet them. That's one thing I always say. You got to vet them. It's not just a case of they look like they're successful. You got to vet them. See what they've done. See who they've helped. If possible, check their business. And over here it's called Company's House. Check their business. See if they've got any tax returns. Those sort of things, right? Just to kind of vet them to a much higher level, as opposed to, they just look good. So I would probably say not having a coach, first of all, was probably something for me that made the curve way longer than it needed to be. Like, if this version of me started back in 2010, it'd be way different, way different. Another mistake that I made, and I don't think many more people will make this just because of how the world is now and how behaviors are, was thinking that what I wanted to do in the digital space was not a real job. So I was comparing it to being a lawyer. I was like, this is just something on the side, as opposed to being a real job. So I didn't understand that the skills I had back then were actually skills which, the way the world was going, were actually going to be things which are going to be extremely valuable just because of the way the world was going. I just saw it as just something that I was just doing on the side. So that's one thing I would say. Don't believe the world's view of what a business should be or what a job should be. Create your own space, and thrive in it. You know, if there are people there that need what it is that you can offer, just get in that space and thrive in it. As long as it's a skill that's valuable to the market will always want your skill. So
I got a question on top of that one. In terms of maybe setting boundaries, because I know it's difficult when you got the African households. You know, there's a lot of social pressure to do things. So how were your parents or your family feeling about you stepping away from the law? Were they supportive? And if they were not supportive, how did you say, listen, I'm gonna keep hitting this? You know, how did you stay focused and motivated?
Well, and shout out to Demi, because she just said it in the chat. Got to teach the children, and that's true. You see, the lucky thing for me was it was all over the world that the recession was happening, and it was all over the world that law firms were going under or different businesses were going under. So it wasn't a case of don't do this or you can't do that. It was a case of, okay, if you think this is something that can work and you can survive on it, and until all of this clears up, let's try that. So I got a lot of support, especially with my mom. Like, I got a lot of support with her, and she was just like, well, if you think this is something, it's not something I understand. So it's not something I can tell you to do or not to do. But if you think you can, then let's try it and see. So that was kind of, so I know that you obviously, because I understand that particular mentality that we have, especially as Nigerian, because again, the most popular things are lawyer, doctor, banker, engineer. Those are the things that they know as, this is what can make you paper. But even though that is just, the problem is it's a limiting belief, but it's a limiting belief that comes out of love, right? They love you, they want you to excel, but the thing is, that's the only thing they know. Same way in some households, they only know be a basketball player, be a soccer star, be an NFL player. That's the only thing they know as well. So they're like, okay, let's push him or her for that so she can have the life that we were not able to have. You know, she or he can have a better life, sort of thing. Or even she or he can have a better life for his generation and can also help us, or, you know, that sort of scenario. So I do understand that whole context, and that context is not lost to me at all. But I do have to preface it with the fact that with my scenario, because of how it was and the recession and everything, it was more of a case of it's a necessity as opposed to a luxury. It wasn't a case of, oh, I've got a law job, but instead I want to do this instead, you know. But But to be honest, at the back of my mind and the way I'd been growing up, there were signs that I was more entrepreneurial than anything else. Because even when I was thinking of becoming a lawyer, I was like, okay, cool, I'll do this for a couple of years, figure out how they've done it, and then I'll do my own. That was what was always in the back of my head. You know, It just so happens I got to that way quicker and way sooner than I thought I would do so, and in a whole different space that I would say I naturally enjoyed. So,
gotcha.
Was entrepreneurship in your family at all? And then Max, I want you to go ahead and ask your next question.
To an extent, I would say yes, because my granddad, both my granddads actually, they were business owners, and like really successful business owners. And I remember when like I'd have business talks with them, and we discussed different things. But at that age, you don't necessarily understand its mindset, or you don't understand how that's a seed that's being planted in you for further on. So, yeah, I'd say we did have that. So I did have that as an example, you know, even though I didn't understand it, but I knew, okay, cool. Granddad built his business and he was doing this back in the day, and now he's still living off of that and still enjoying. I was like, okay, that's cool, you know, but I didn't appreciate it as you can go and build your own business and do the exact same thing, you know. So whereas some families, which again, on this journey I've learned, they have SOPs they pass down to the younger generation to keep that wealth within the family. You know, that's why you have Walgreens are still there. You have Rolls Royce and Ferrari, they're still making paper. You have a bunch of different families that are keeping the wealth within the business and within the family because they have the SOPs. All right, cool. Next generation, here's how we did it. You guys use it, you adapt it for your generation. Next generation, the exact same thing. So we kind of have to, like Dami said in the comments, we kind of have to have that for our kids so that they be like, okay, cool, here's how we did it. Now you guys, you're in this world. In this world, we didn't have social media. We didn't have any of that. But hey, here's how we did it. So adapt to the social media. The next generation, okay, we didn't have metaverse. You guys have metaverse. So you guys adapted with metaverse and blockchain. Next generation and so on and so forth. So yeah, I think that mindset is definitely key in the scenario.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. Max, go for it.
Yeah, so I want to know, for any musicians watching this right now and you know has their music out, beat makers too, what would you say? How can they start creating a website? What's the start? How do they start creating a website? So
with artists, here's what I would say. An artist, I think especially if you're an independent artist, you have probably one of the best tools at your disposal, which is the internet. And what's his name? I think it's Russ and a bunch of other independent artists who've made it big with just being with just being independent. But Russ is one of like the biggest ones because he's everywhere and he showed that, yeah, I did it. I think, first of all, if you've got the talent, everything else should be easy. Now, with using the internet, I would say you want to have a way where you can have your talent over here. So you're displaying your talent, whether it's in a video on YouTube or video on a site that you hosted yourself. And your website would be somewhere in between. And then you have a social media platform. So your social media platform shows people a snippet of this talent. So you create that interest to drive them to a part of your website where you can collect that lead. So you can collect their name, phone number, email, whatever. And then after that, they then get to see the video, which again, that video could be on your website. So I would say using your website to collect your audience that you can own is probably the most crucial way to create a digital asset for you as an artist. Because if I just post it on YouTube and you happen to see it on YouTube and be like, oh gosh, this video is amazing. 7,000 likes in one day, 300,000 views in 1 minute. Cool. What about all those 300,000 people? Where are they? Can you go and speak to 5 of them? No, you cannot. But if there was a way for me to collect that information on their path from seeing my content snippet to seeing the full thing. So basically you get to see a trailer and then you give me your information before you get to see the full thing. Now that is a way for you to get an audience that you can control and you can own. Because when you have more stuff, you have their name, phone number, and email to say, hey, right, the full video is now out, or my mixtape is now out, or my album is now out, or I'm doing a special for a couple of fans who love me and been rocking with me since day one. Now that way you become more of an asset to yourself, and you can leverage. You feel me? So even if you did want to start signing up with a record company and everything, you have leverage to say, all right, cool, I know you guys can say this, but I already have 100K on my own. Look at Nipsey Hussle.
Yep.
You know? So yeah, I would say using it that way is probably one of the best ways as an artist independently. Like I said, if you've got the talent already, then everything I've just said is easy. It's if you don't have the talent, then maybe that's when it might not work the same way. But yeah.
Right.
Great play.
And that's that was heavy, bro. And that's the big thing about it too, is that just like you said, when you have everything in place, even when you have the website or you have everything in place, then when you take it to the record label, like now, they're just banks. You know what I mean? They're not really discovering people like they were back in the 70s and the 80s. So you need to have already had every single thing. You need to be running a business like independently on your own, and then take it to the record label and say, listen, I need X amount of dollars because I want to go ahead and scale this business. You're 100% correct in that. I had one for you. So what do professional musicians need to think about? When do professional musicians need to think about investing in a website? What needs to be in place? So you just kind of talked about that, but from a professional musician's perspective, I know you have your brother, my guy Tobiah, music producer, creator of Afro Chill, a whole new genre. I love that. So for the musician space, what do they need before they are looking to contact you and your services and things like that? What do they need to have in place?
So before contacting me, or in fact, just before anything, I would say is this. Obviously, you got your talent. So, but I always say that just to preface, because if you don't have the talent, I wouldn't say you should pursue this particular career. If you don't have the talent, that's subjective to you. That's your self-awareness. No, are you good enough, or can you develop? Because even if you're not good enough, you can develop as you go. So let's just say the talent is sorted. You've got all of that. Now, contacting me is a case of what stage are you at? Right. I would probably say you need to have some sort of site that is collecting leads as soon as possible, right? Because again, if you think of it, this is the trailer over here. No, this is the main talent over here, my main display over here of my talent. But I want to create a trailer that's going to lead people to the full thing. I need to have something in between to collect those people's information, right? And that may not necessarily have to be a full-blown website. It could literally just be a way to collect those leads. So it could just be a section of your website to just collect those leads, to then on the next page, they then get to see the YouTube video in full. Or if it's on another page on your website, now that is probably what I would probably say. I would have the trailer all over the internet. But to see the full thing, I would have the main video on my website where you can actually see it. So it might be a hidden video on YouTube or an unlisted video on YouTube, right? So it's hosted on YouTube, but you can't see it. Then I have that, I embed that video on my website on page 2, but on page 1, you have to enter your name, phone number, and email to get to see it. Now that part, I think if you're thinking as a business, because when you're an artist, you may not necessarily be thinking as a business or as an entrepreneur, because you are a creative and creatives want to just create and be the talent. But I think if you are looking to take this seriously, that is the process you want to have. You want to have everything with the trailers all over, and you have that 1 page and that 2 page where you're collecting leads as soon as possible. Because as soon as you can own your audience, you can start doing whatever it is you want to do. Look at what's his name? Ryan Leslie, and what was it?
Mm-hmm.
Was it
Oh
like
yeah.
was something like 100,000 people or something that he did, and he did like 5 million off it? It was
Yeah.
something crazy like that. You
Yeah, it
know?
was something. It was. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
but
what you're talking about.
yeah, but we all know Ryan Leslie. He's a GOAT, anyways. Like producer, making the beats and everything. Everything did with Cassie, like all of that stuff. We already know Ryan
Amazing.
Leslie's a GOAT, but the way he used the internet to his advantage is way different than most other people understand as artists to use the internet to their advantage. And I would say before you speak to us, you should probably be thinking about how to leverage your talent as a business. And even if you don't speak to us, this play I just gave you is something you can just do on your own. Have that one page to collect the information, have the second page to showcase the talent, and then have trailers all over the internet, your TikTok, your Instagram, your YouTube, LinkedIn if you want to, and drive people from there to see the full thing. Now, if you've got a dope trailer and you've got dope talent, people will always come to see what it is you want to show them. So that's what I would say.
Jeez Louise, man. Like, jeez Louise, man. Let's clap it up for my guy right out here, man. Giving all these bars.
I'm putting myself in the shoes of a musician and telling myself, okay, how much is the price? Like, I don't even want to hear anything else. Like, okay, always been dropping these gems. How much is the price to invest in this course? Or I love it. I love it.
Oh yeah, did you do you have a course?
I don't have a course yet.
Okay.
I have been
It's
asked
coming.
to coach. I think it is coming, but I think it's going to come in the form of a challenge. I think that's what because I enjoy having conversations with different entrepreneurs, different business owners. So hence why I have the podcast. But in terms of a course, I don't have one yet, but I think it will come in the form of a challenge. So I do have a challenge that I am working on to start, and yeah, that will be coming soon.
You thinking second? I mean, are you thinking first quarter, second quarter, third, or fourth?
Still first quarter-ish. Still first quarter-ish.
Okay.
Second quarter.
Yeah. I love that, man. I mean, because I know that folks are definitely just gonna watch this right now. I'm gonna watch in the replay, and I mean, like that's the next, like Max said, that's literally the next thing I want to do is where can we go ahead and invest, and put this thing together. But I love what you just said. I mean, I've always said that just because you're independent, independent doesn't mean like unprofessional, even more so. I remember young Dolph, you know what I'm saying, before the brother passed away, he talked about as an independent, just to break a record, it was I think he said $250K, right, to break a record. You know what I'm saying? Wow. $250,000 to break a record. And that's, again, just promo and all that types of stuff. And maybe people don't have that specific budget, but it's great to know what you need to be shooting for and to say, listen, this is what we need to be shooting for. And anyways, okay, sidebar, I got an actual question for you. I have a website. And I'm always getting, I set up a CAPTCHA, little bot sort of situation or whatever like that. I set up a CAPTCHA. It's a WordPress. I think the host is WordPress or maybe Bluehost. I don't know because I don't handle the website part. But I'm always getting. I have to turn off like the function of, I guess, putting in people's emails because I'm always getting random emails from other people. I feel like they're bots. Yeah. But I'm like, I've turned on the CAPTCHA. I have no idea what should happen. What should I be doing? What should I be doing? Because I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm just going to get rid of this function where, just like you said, I mean, you need something to capture people's information, to get them into the environment, so that we can be talking in my ecosphere for my group. But it's attracting bots, and I don't like seeing these emails all the time.
Gotcha. Okay, two things I'm going to talk about. I need to talk about a merch play because you were talking about 250K with Young Dolph. So I'm going to come back to that. Just remind me. Okay. Now, let me address this particular thing. So if you have WordPress and I'm thinking your host is Bluehost or any host.
Bluehost. It's Bluehost.
Yeah, there should be, what is it that Google's got? It's something like Recapture 4 or Recapture 3 or something, where basically Google itself will just, all the spammy emails or all the spammy things, they have all the IP addresses kind of logged. So anyone thing that comes through there, they just automatically just put it straight into spam, so you don't even get to see it. Because I used to have that issue as well a couple of years ago. But then we set up I think it's Recapture 3 or 4. It's one of them. So basically, any of those random emails that come through, they already come from an IP address, because that's all they do. They just use the same IP addresses over and over from different different sources. So in that scenario, you need to set up that. And again, depending on what you're actually using to collect the emails, because if you're just using a normal form, are you just using a normal form like Contact Form 7?
Bro, when I tell you you are out here talking Chinese, listen, bro, that is my area of incompetence, and I am well aware that that's my area of incompetence. So I have no idea. I have Recapture set up, but I got to look at it again, because I don't know if it's going straight to the spam folder. I got to look that up. And I mean, if you just said they're going to do it regardless and it's going to go to the spam folder, then okay, fine. Yeah. But, yeah, so continue what you were saying.
Yeah, so if it's, I would just say, just to keep it simple, check out to see if you've got Recapture 3 or Recapture 4 with Google. It's something that you need to set up, so it'll give you a link and say, if you have a Gmail account, then you automatically have it, because everything with Google, as long as you have one of their products, you've got everything else. So it will ask you to connect to that. They'll give you a token, and then you put it into the thing, and then it sets up. So essentially, it's kind of like a filter for any of those spammy IPs coming through. The other thing which I will also say is you should probably have a page on your site dedicated to a specific thing. So say you want to talk about producing with instrumentals that are hip hop. You should have a page specifically for that. Say you want to talk about producing again, which is instrumentals, but these instrumentals are Afro beats. Have a separate page for that. So now everyone who's coming in isn't just going into one thing, and then you have to kind of divide, okay, this person is interested in this, person is interested in that. You've already divided them right from the get-go. So everyone who's going into one thing is going into the hip-hop instrumentals. People are going into the Afro one. They're going into the Afro beats instrumentals. And another thing which can make it even easier is if you actually use something like MailerLite, because MailerLite will put everything again into groups for you. And then MailerLite. Yeah, and then you can remarket to them later on.
Yeah, that was my sort of question, because I literally honestly was about to get rid of Curlisa. Hey, how you doing, beloved? That was literally, I was like, yeah. She's an amazing young sister we're gonna have on Soundboard Sundays one day.
Calisa's dope. Business bestie, graphic goddess.
Graphic goddess, business bestie, exactly. So Max, did you have, because it is like 3, it is 3, what time is it right now? It's 3, what time is it right now? 3:37, okay.
Yep.
Right. So give Oye, we don't want to keep Oye too long, but give Oye about 2 more questions. And Oye, I want you to let folks know, besides the course that you've got to be putting together, for that we're already anticipating, let us know after Max asks these questions, let us know what you have for us, because you had something special for the folks listening and people who are going to watch on the read. So go for it, Max.
Yeah, so my question is, what makes your approach stand out when it comes to web design?
Okay, so when people go and they say they need a website, there are 2 types of websites you can have, right? Now, you can have what we call a brochure website, right? Which is basically, hey, I'm Oye, I'm great, I'm amazing, I've been doing this for 3,000 years, I'm so good, you should buy my stuff. Cool. Now, all that stuff is me. What's in it for you, Max? What's in it for you, Matt? There's nothing there. It's just, this guy. So instantly I fall into the cookie cutter and I look like everybody else. Whereas a client attraction high performance website is like, okay, cool. I'm dope. I've got all this stuff, which I already said about that I'm really good at, but I've also got stuff which is useful specifically for you, Max, specifically for you, Matty, right? Say, for instance, I was trying to attract artists, right? Some of the plays I just spoke about would be stuff that I would put on my site, which is solving those problems to attract those people out there in the world to come back to me, right? Now, that is one of the differences between having just a brochure website and a high-performance website. High-performance website, first of all, you look the part. It's able to collect that information for you and segregate it for you. At the same time, it allows people to be able to schedule with you if they want to pay you for consultations. You can track people, the whole bunch of different things. You got your lead collections. You can have funnels within the site. So basically, it is a high-performance employee working 24/7, 365, right?
Yeah.
You know, and even now, I'm going to segue now back into the merch play I was talking about. Now, let's say someone says to me, right, okay, cool, I want to break a record and I don't have 250K, right? They say that to me, but they're like, I've got the talent, I've got the will, I've got all these other things, I'm ready to go. Okay, cool. Now, let's say those are the type of people I'm trying to attract. So that's my avatar. I'm trying to attract those people trying to break 250K, but they're just starting out. And whatever. Cool. I'd say to them, all right, cool. You've got the talent, right? First things first, let's create a 2-page website where we're going to have one page to collect people's information and another page that's going to showcase your talent. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put trailers all over the internet and get people to see those trailers to come back to your site to collect that information before they see the full thing. Now, here's one thing that a lot of people may not remember or notice. When Jigga was rocking Carl Kanai and Iceberg, he was getting sales for them. And he said, yo, you guys should pay us to do this for you. Yeah. Essentially become influencers for you. They're like, yeah, we good. We got this. All right, cool. No worries. I'll create Rockaware. Now people listen to Jigga and then they're going to buy Rockaware. You feel me? Now, let's just say we're doing the exact same thing with this person who's my avatar. I say, all right, cool. So here's how we're going to get you to your 250K. Your talent is great. Your stuff is amazing. Let's create merch around your talent, right? So your notable quotes that you're saying, you know, your notable lines that you're saying. And the thing is, we don't need to have them ready. What will happen is people could get on a wait list that they pay for. So say you've got a T-shirt. We hit someone up like Carlissa and say, right, create an outline of the T-shirt with the quotes on, right? And when people are ready to buy it, they can just buy it. We'll create it and then we'll drop ship it to them. So you're not paying for anything until people have actually paid you. Or again, that list of people that we collected before they got to see your demonstration of talent, we can say to them, hey, we've got 3 T-shirts coming out with 3 of the most notable quotes from my song. And it's only going to be 100 T-shirts. Register your interest and pay in advance. So you're on your wait list. Now, imagine we did that. We got 1,000 sales, right? And we did that every month. So your next video comes out. Don't just because you got X amount doesn't mean that that can't be improved or increased. Or we can say, okay, cool. We sold out of these first ones. We're going to do another set of tees with another set of quotable lines from the song and then put that out for people to buy. But because you have this audience of people who came in at stage 1, who entered the name, phone number, and email, you have an audience that you own and you can control and you can feed them information. And again, if your talent is as good as it is, they will always want to buy because they're interested in what it is that you do and what you stand for. Hence, Jigga and Rockaware, Nelly, Vocal, Diddy, Sean John. They all follow that same principle. You know, Vocal was all about, yo, we're out here, country grammar, well good, we're living it up. Diddy was all about, hey, I'm swaggy, I'm Diddy, I make hits from the 80s. Hey, yeah. Jigga's all about, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a hustler, you know, I'm this, but I'm still swaggy. That's Rockaware. So people love what you stand for. Now you have a merch account or you have a merch business at the same time, which is able to support your talent. So say we're doing that and we're selling each tee and we're making, say, I don't know, maybe 10 grand a week from each sales of, or your sales run, then that's how we can start building a business around your talent to then get to that 250K that we need to invest. But at the same time, the more people are seeing your teas all over the place, well, where's that from? Where's that from? Now you're increasing popularity. Now everyone's like, yo, I like that tea. I like what it represents. I like what it stands for. Then they're like, oh, where's it from? It's this site. It's this artist. But you can't see it unless you go through his website to see his actual talent. All right, cool, bet. I'm going to go sign up. You go through that exact same process. You get to see it. At the same time, you now have leverage for you to have shows in different cities. Now you have a new income stream aside from the merch. And then at those shows, people can buy the merch and the ball keeps rolling on and on and on and on. Now, if that was my avatar and I ran this play for them, which is what, maybe 10 minutes, and I put that on something on the internet with just a snippet of the trailer and say, hey, for you to see the rest of it, you need to answer your name, phone number, and email. Who is not going to want to see the rest of what I just said?
Right.
You feel me?
That's 100%. That's 100%, bro. That's 100%. Gosh, I'm sitting here listening like a complete student I am. But okay, so this is my last thing for people who are lazy, because I was just reading in Rachel Rogers' book. She was just talking about, she was like, I'm a creative, and we have a lot of music creatives, right? And people, so the website, we have a lot of music creatives who are not necessarily good at follow-up and all of those things like that. Like, do you, so in terms of, like, I guess, support with the systems and all of those things like that, does your company, how much does the company, I guess, help with the rest of it? I know that there's website building, high-performance websites for high-performance businesses, and running high-performance lead generation. So is it like, is the business is COBS done for you, done with you, or, kind of coaching, or, how hands-on do the music producers and the singer-songwriters need to be?
So basically, we're done for you totally. So it's literally a case of you tell us the vision, and essentially we're kind of coaches and advisors on to where you're trying to get to. So we see where the goal is. We see what you're trying to do. The problem is you don't know how to use the internet to get there. So we say, all right, cool. Here's what you want to try and do. Here's what you want to try and achieve. Here are the things that we will build to help you get to that point. So you say to me, right, you want to have a situation where you can collect leads. All right, cool. We'll create a system within the site that we can have leads, we can have funnels, and actually we just have a new skill that we're going to be rolling out, phasing in, which is you can have a webinar so you can demonstrate your talent on your website as well. So basically everything is under that same roof. So you have your funnels within your website. You have your lead generation funnels within your website. You have your webinar funnels within your website. You have your webinar within the website. You have your lead magnet within the website. You have your calendar, and people be able to book appointments and all those sort of things. You can track the people. All those things are within the website. So like I said, it's a high performance employee working for you 24/7, 365. So you say to us, right, here's what I want to achieve. Here's how I envision it being. I would say, here are the tools that you need to get there, because not everybody needs the exact same thing, right? Some people may need one fit. Another person may need something totally different. But the thing is, we have skills of the whole picture. So we can say, here's what's right for you to achieve this. Here's what's right for you to be able to achieve this. Here's what's right for you to be able to achieve this. So yes, we are a fully done for you service. And yeah.
Love that. Max, did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm driven by execution and people who love to take action. And I just want to know who's ready.
That's why we say high performance.
High performance, yeah.
That's why I say.
I just want to know who's ready to execute. And if you're ready, just comment the word me. And my question I want to ask you related to your definition of digital assets. So I want to know, what's your definition of digital assets, and how can a musician sync it to their career, to their own career.
All right, cool. So I always have to remember the context that we're in now, because the context we're in now, we have NFTs and all those sort of things, right? Which are also digital assets. So when we talk about digital assets in our particular context, we're talking about things that are digital but are also valuable, right? So NFT is one of those things, but we don't create NFTs. Maybe something later on down the line we may do. But for now, when we talk about digital assets, we're talking about your website. Having, again, something like your lead generation system, so you can own your audience or control your audience. Because if you have an audience that you own and you can control, you can create stuff which you can provide them, like I said, with the t-shirt play or the merch play. Now, you've been able to create other digital products. These are also possible digital assets, even though your merch is something, but I won't use merch as an example because it's also tangible. So I wouldn't necessarily say that. But let's say you wanted to have, say I'm a rapper and I'm talking about or I'm a singer and I'm talking about the best things for me to do with my voice when I wake up to make sure my voice is always crystal clear and crisp, and my voice box is always as healthy as it can be possible. And let's say I create a checklist of the five best things for me to do with my voice box and the 5 biggest mistakes I can make and how to avoid them. Now, that's a digital asset I can create, put on my website, and have people buy that alongside the merch that they can buy on my website. Let's say I decided to create a course around the exact same thing. I could create a course on the best tools to keep my voice box on level, on par with Beyonce or Mariah Carey or anyone like that. So that, again, if that's what you're looking to do, if you're my audience and you're my avatar and you want to get your voice box on that level as mine, because you've heard me sing and you've heard how amazing I am, here are the things that I did, and here's my course. Now, here's a digital asset that you can use, put on your website. So now you have a digital asset within your website. You have a checklist, which is another digital asset. You now have this course, which is another digital asset. So those are 3 digital assets just on their own, before we now start talking about other things, like if you wanted to create NFTs and all those other things. But essentially, it's digital and it's an asset because it's valuable. And you have these things which we can help create for you to, again, provide you the leverage you use within the world that you want to create for yourself. Whether you're speaking to record owners, you're speaking to, venues to do a live show, or you're speaking to promoters or anything like that. Or even if you wanted to create stuff like Patreon or whatever, where it's only fan-based content for fans who are paying a subscription and all these sort of things. Again, these are digital assets that may only be accessible to the fans because they're paying a subscription, so there's so many different plays, but having your digital assets are part of the things that give you leverage in the world that you create online. So, yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah, man. Like, so tell me this, Oye, what do some people, because this happens a lot, right? Sometimes people reach out to service-based businesses, and they expect something, and they expect something that you actually do not provide, and So what are some things that and I'm talking about this from the other side. What are some things that people expect from web developers and lead magnet generators?
Yeah.
That it's that you're not going to provide anyways. Not saying that you can't, but what are some like over expectations that people think about? Like what are some of the yeah.
You see, the problem, or that problem in particular, is we kind of solve that by not by managing expectations right from the get-go. So on our initial consultation, and again, this goes back to the messaging and who the avatar is and who we're trying to attract. If you're a high-performance individual, high-performance business, and you're coming to us, you already have a certain level of personality, a certain level of behaviors that you already have, a certain level of way that you already work. So now that's the person we're attracting. Now, when you come over to us, we say to you, right, cool, we can do what you want, Let's understand what your expectations are. So I think that initial conversation where you understand what everyone's expectations are is going to be really crucial, so you don't have any issues down the line. It's very similar to when Dave said something about what do you envision? Yeah, I think is when he started doing the Brain Picker podcast, when he goes, how do you envision this going that would make you happy? Or what do you see as the end goal that will make this conversation productive? We do a similar thing. What do you envision at the end of this that you want, and you see this as a major success for you? And then they explain that to us. So it's asking the right questions.
Right.
As Bruce from New Skills New You would say, you need to ask the right questions. So when you ask the right questions, you don't get that expectation mismanagement. And you say something, these are the things that we're going to build to help you get to this particular point. Now, if you start coming with other things that weren't in the initial things that we discussed, if these are things that we can do, then these are extra services. If they're not stuff that we can do, then we can't do them. At the same time, and this is very important for anyone who's listening to this now on the replay, don't give people stuff that they don't need just because they can afford it.
Right.
I'll say that again. Don't give people stuff that they don't need just because they can afford it. Don't give people Kanye West prices just because they're Kanye West. Give them stuff that's actually useful to them, stuff that they actually need, and can actually give them a result at the stage where they're at before they level up to the point where they may need other things. Someone may come to us and they may not necessarily need lead generation at that particular point. We say to them, you don't need to go for that. Just because it's available, you don't necessarily need that just yet. Focus on the point where you're at. Get to the level where you now need it in, then move forward. It's similar to apps. So we can make apps, but we don't necessarily advertise that we do apps for people. Because if you're just starting off with creating a high-performance website, you may not necessarily be in a stage where you have so many users or so many customers that you need an app. Even though you may be able to afford it, and yes, it's good income, but doesn't necessarily mean that you need it just yet. Because if you have an app, your app is supposed to do something that your website doesn't, right? Or because you have a bunch of subscribers or a bunch of customers or a bunch of users that need to do something with the app that your website isn't able to do just yet. If you only have 5 customers, you don't need to create a 60 grand app or a 20 grand app or even a 5 grand app with 5 customers. You don't need that just yet, you know? So yeah, that's basically, we manage it right from the get-go by understanding what it is they want to get to, what that looks like, and we focus specifically on that. That way, we don't have people coming in trying to do other things which aren't going to help them get to this goal that we've already put together. So that's how we solve that issue.
That's business integrity. I love that. Max, you look like you're about to say, ask one more question.
Ask away if you've got more questions.
Yes,
no
doubt.
Let me know.
So my last question was, which is better, Wix, or even if you had to choose between Wix, WordPress, or Shopify? If anyone who wants to invest into their own website.
All right, cool. One of my favorite questions. I'm gonna give you the full play here. I will always say all day, every day, and Matty will know this, WordPress. However, I always say to people, these 3 things are different levels. Wix and Shopify are do-it-yourself guys. WordPress is when you have either some knowledge yourself or you have someone like me in your team to help you. So you have me, myself, and my team working with you. That's when I would say start looking at WordPress. The reason why I say this is this. When you do it yourself, you are paying consistently like rent. You don't own the website. You're just paying for what you've built. So you're paying rent, which means that as soon as you create it, that month rent is due, and the next month, and so on and so forth. Now, remember the story what I said, I created a website, but doesn't mean traffic came. I had to go and learn how to get traffic to the site, learn SEO to bring people to the site to then make it profitable. Now, if back then something like Wix or Shopify was available, I probably would have done that, and then I'd have had to be even under more pressure to figure out how to attract traffic. That's the one thing I say to anyone when they do it themselves. If you use one of the DIY guys, I would say Shopify is the best of the DIY guys. But remember, you need to start paying rent as soon as you start. The
Paying
other
that bread.
thing, yeah, exactly. The other thing is this. Aside from you being able to do that, the other thing is this. Shopify is made for everyone to be able to do it themselves. Hence, that comes with limitations because they want to make it as easy as possible for everybody to do it themselves. A lot of things that you might see with your website being able to do, you may not be able to do because it is stripped down for you to just be able to do it yourself. You then need to get other plugins, attach those to the site, which is more cost because most of the plugins are subscription based. So you're paying for the subscriptions as well as paying the rent on your website, right? So that's with that. Exactly. You know, or even other customizations. Another thing I'm going to say on top of that is this. Let's just say you now level up to the point where maybe you had an inheritance come through, or somebody wants to invest, or you won the lottery, or you did something crazy and you just sold something. You've got an influx of cash. You now have to take that site you've created in Shopify, and now if you want to own it, you're going to need to restart all over again.
Yep.
So you can't just take Shopify and then just put it on WordPress. You need to restart all over again, right? So all the content that you've created and all those sort of things, you're going to take them. You will have copies already, but you now need to re-put them onto this new site. I'm not saying that it is necessarily difficult, because if you just copy and paste in text and you copy and paste in images, but it is an unnecessary headache. I say to people, if you're going to do the DIY stuff, and this is the advice I would give myself, don't get too big that when you restart doing everything again in WordPress, it's an unnecessary headache. So I'm essentially saying to you, limit your success, which to me is not necessarily good business practice, right? If I'm telling you limit your success just because I know what you're going to have to go through with the migration and transition, for me, it's not necessarily good business practice. But I would say if you're not at a point where you can get someone to do WordPress with you, the best of the DIYs is Shopify. Yes, I agree to that. But I would say overall, WordPress is where you do actually want to be, because as soon as you build it, you own it. So then you can go figure out how to actually get people back to the site, get your marketing and all of those things sorted afterwards. So it's not a case of, all right, cool, I've got to pay rent on this site. I need to figure out how I can make a couple sales. Because if you have a bad month, you still have to pay the rent. It doesn't matter. So WordPress essentially is where I would say most people should focus on going. And if you can't even start off on WordPress just yet, think about if it's necessary to start on Shopify even. Because if it's going to be a case of you're going to put a lot of stuff into it, I'm thinking e-commerce, you're doing all your product shoots, you're doing all your all your descriptions for each and every single product. You've got 200 to 500 products. That is a lot of headache. And then the downtime of that site being down whilst this new site is being built is another thing you need to consider. Even if you put it on a staging site, you can't just move a staging site to the main site and it's going to work flawlessly. There might be some technical issues between the transition from the staging to the main. Again, that's going to cause downtime. So it's just that I would say is the full picture. So anyone listening to this can actually make an informed decision, right? If you are going to do the DIY, think of it that way and how I express with Shopify. Or think, okay, cool, long-term strategy, the bigger play is to get to WordPress. So let's just do WordPress right from the get-go. So, yeah.
I like that. Carlisa said Shopify makes you pay to add apps.
Yes.
And then she spoke about recommending Gumroad for the professional musician. So what are your thoughts on Gumroad?
I've not used Gumroad, so I can't say on that. I've bought something on Gumroad, but I've not actually used it, so I couldn't say that. But I will say using Amazon, Etsy, and eBay if you have products, right? If actually, I'll say this: if you're in e-commerce, right? So I'll talk about service-based and I'll talk about e-commerce. If you are in e-commerce and you can't yet get a website up, I would say this. I would even say you should get a website. I would say get dope pictures of whatever it is your brand is or whatever it is you're selling. Put them on eBay. And when I say dope pictures, get lifestyle photos. Get you and a couple of friends, go in front of a hotel that's nice, take some photos there. Go to a park, take some photos there. If it's lifestyle, it's luxury. If you can go to, I don't know, where people race yachts or whatever, anything that's luxury, take photos there. Then take those photos, put them on eBay. I can only speak about eBay because that's one I know. If you get someone to teach you about Amazon, that's good as well. And Etsy, put them on eBay, have a good title, have a good description, have your pictures optimized for your product. So instead of your image of your picture saying IMG 5000, have it say T-shirt, red, Carlissa's amazing brand or whatever it is, right? Put that up on eBay, and then eBay gets paid when you get paid. So their marketing team's job is to make sure that T-shirt or whatever that thing is sells. So now you have an income stream coming in from stuff that you created, right? And if you even want to make this an even smarter play, you can have it in such a way that you only create the products when you make the sale. So you say on your description, I don't know, maybe 15 to 20 days delivery. So you have your initial demo stuff that you've created, your samples that you've taken your photo shoots with. That's what you use on eBay. And then when you make sales, then you go your print on demand guys and you print it off, make the T-shirt and then send it over, right? So that way you limit your risk even further. So you don't have a website where you don't necessarily know how to market just yet, because having an e-commerce brand make you profit straight away is not necessarily easy. There are a lot of things you need to build up, especially in your audience, before you're going to start making sales. So having a platform where you can actually leverage their marketing team instead, like eBay, gives you a better advantage. Same thing with Facebook Marketplace. That will give you a better advantage. You can now have income, which if you now want to do Shopify, you can then say, okay, cool, I am making X amount a month, so I can afford to pay this rent until I figure out how to do it with Shopify. So that's what I would say on the e-commerce space.
Yeah, no, so, because I'm like, okay, do you, that's something very important, and I think that our audience that's here and our audience that will watch this on the replay, like, I'm thinking, do you do consultations for, and I'm not talking about like no free, we're just trying to see if I'm talking about like an actual consultation. I'm not talking about the price, but a consultation, because I can see that people would, from what you just said, bro, because you understand a lot of the marketing aspects of it. So do you do consultations that are, can kind of, I guess, clarity consultations that can help folks, so that before they are like saying this, that they want to make a larger investment, they can, have a, do something with your consultation fee. Are you open and doing that, or is something that you're going to roll out?
It is actually something, because it is something that we've been asked for multiple times now. So it is also part of what I will be dropping at the end of this, because we're starting that, I think it's February the 20th. Yes, that week between February 14th and the 20th is when we're dropping you can actually book for consultations with myself or another member of the team. So
because I think that those consultations are imperative. They're imperative. I mean, I'm a big fan of paid consultations because that little bit of skin in the game lets people know where it is. And then also, I'm a big fan of paid consultations, and because I know that you're not, like, you're focused in on me, you know.
Yeah.
And then going back to that DIY, I was a DIYer, and because it's like I want to save on the budget, and did not know the value of time currency.
Yeah.
Did not know the value of time currency. I was like, you know, I'm in my late teens, early 20s, you know, I got all this, that, and the other, so on and so forth, and did not understand the most expensive thing that I was literally just spending off as time currency.
Yeah.
Spending that time currency. And it's like, yo, like, I can make money, I can lose money, and get it back. When I lose my life, that's it. I'm out of the game when you lose your life, you know. And so I really had to understand that, like, stop DIYing it. You know, stop DIYing it. Seriously. You know, stop DIYing it as much as you possibly can, because you cannot get that time back. And then the time that it takes you to DIY, you have to like learn what you don't even know, right? So you don't know certain things, and you got to get to that place where you like, oh, shoot, I didn't even know that. Now I got to go learn that. And you just get kind of stuck and lost in the business. So, you know, I'm really appreciative. I believe that is the word. I believe that's the word, you know.
Appreciative,
appreciative. You know, you guys speaking the good King's English. But so I didn't understand that, and now I do understand that. And I'm like, we're talking about building legacy with the WordPress or the building the websites. That is building a legacy, because we might want to sell a business, or we might have some merch plays that we've got going on that we've built in conjunction with our music, or use our music to leverage merch, and we might want to sell it, you know, for a couple million, you know, a couple M's, you know, maybe a couple hundred M's and things like that. And if we don't own it, you made a great point. I do see it like interesting. Like, can you sell your Shopify store, or, you know, and if you do, I just see like it's almost like what you just said. I can't sell an apartment building that I live in. You know, I can sell my home though that I own.
Yeah.
You feel me? You know, so the importance is that ownership and that building of the legacy. Bruh, tell us, I'm looking through the what's it called? We've been giving people time to ask some questions, but listen, we had all questions for us. Listen, we opened it up for the community to ask some questions, but we had some questions for Oye out here. You know, we're just skipping all types of lines. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta get our questions answered. Bro, you've been amazing. I wanted our audience to just be able to see that that you're an amazing professional brother. All three of us are really big on group economics, Dr. Claude Anderson, and I think that it's imperative that that we shop with the best, but we at least start with ourselves if we can do that, you know. And I don't think that that's a racist sort of situation. I think that anybody any other racial groups that benefit from music that has been created by folks from the African diaspora would definitely agree and say, listen, like, you know, y'all need to come up, you know, y'all need to like work together. But the main thing is that professionalism. So it's been an honor to have you on. Tell us the link that people can, you know, you were giving out five steps. So tell us. I'm butchering it, so you're going to say it better, but let everybody know.
No worries at all. So probably by the time when people actually watch this replay, so I'd say in the next 24 to 48 hours will be set up. But in the meantime, so we have a book, which is the Secret Web Design Checklist and the 5 biggest mistakes you're making online and how to solve them. Now, you can either DM me 5 secrets, and then we will have the link sent out to you for you to get the book. Or probably by the time this is out, say within the next 24, 48 hours on our end, if you click the link in my bio, you will have the ability to actually download it from there. So I would say either one of them, either DM me 5 secrets or click the link in the bio, and it will take you to a page where you can actually download the secret web design checklist and the 5 biggest mistakes you're making with your website and how to avoid them.
Yes. I want you guys to go. We didn't, because the chat disappears. So for people on the replay, this is Oye Teez. Oye, how you say your old Nigerian name, bro? Because your Nigerians may be having some kingly type of names and stuff like that. How you say it, bro?
How you say it? It's Oyetola.
Oyetola. Okay.
Yeah. Oyetola.
Follow our guy Oye right now. Tap in with him. DM him the word. What is it? 5 steps.
5 secrets.
5 secrets. Okay. DM in the words 5 secrets, and his Instagram handle is at TEEZTHOUGHTS. Teez Thoughts. All right.
Teez Thoughts.
Make sure you guys tap in. Is that correct?
Yes. Teez Thoughts.
Okay.
Indeed.
Teez Thoughts. Okay. Yo, bro, man, I appreciate you, man, taking your time. We went into overtime today because, shoot, we went into overtime today, and I appreciate everybody, all the audience members for hanging around. You all got the gems first. If you guys are watching this on a replay, make sure that you come to Soundboard Sundays at 3 p.m. EST, because, y'all going to be looking for this stuff, and it's going to be, who knows when it's going to be that you're going to see this, and then the deal might be over. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you guys are here. Follow my guy. Yeah, Curlisa said thanks for the info. Yo, I want to see you and Curlisa on a live. I don't know if you guys have done y'all lives together.
No, but she is on my list. I have a list of people that we're going through, and Calissa's on the list. She already knows. I already told her she's on the list.
Yeah, I need to. Please let me know. Please, please do the schedule live thing or whatever like that, because we can schedule lives now or whatever like that. I definitely got to tap in for that. But, bro, any last words, Max? Oye?
My last words, obviously click link in bio if you want to work with us. And I would say whatever it is that you're trying to do, always be ready to learn. Learn from people who may be older, people who are younger. It's not a case of you've learned everything and now you don't need to learn anything else. The journey of entrepreneurship, business, and even working a 9-to-5 is always evolving. You have to improve yourself every day. The more skills you get, the more valuable you can be. So always be ready to learn. Have a high teachability index, so you're ready to learn new stuff and accept change. And at the same time, always trust yourself.
Ain't no more words, man. He said it all.
That's it. He said it all, bro, man. I appreciate you, man. Yes, I appreciate you. I want folks to go follow our guy right now and follow him on the replay. Bro, appreciate you. We'll see you later.
Thank you guys for having me. It was an honor, guys.
Pleasure, man.
My man. Peace.
Catch y'all later.